Sthūla Śarīra Prajñā practices is the key word is relaxation, and to do them all, but to really put a premium on the feeling of relaxation as you work with your body and the awareness of the body. So even what seems like an amazing energetic expenditure there, with that exhalation, if it comes from your pelvic floor, it just kind of naturally comes and you just let yourself come forward. So I invite you to try it one more time. Spread your toes, feel those 6 points of contact, your heart region, your navel region, your throat region. And now draw up on your pelvic floor. Just bring a little contraction till your pelvic floor. Feel how your breath can connect to that pelvic floor. And now you can open your face, stick out your tongue, open your eyes, and on an exhalation, just pitch forward. And then relax your face and your eyes, your cheeks and your mouth, and slowly come up. So you can see why it's called the lion pose, because it's that rather fierce look of the face. So you see the teeth and the tongue, very energetic, and then the hissing sound. So it does bring up stuff. You know, if you have any little bit of phlegm, it'll bring that up. So it's very good for the saliva in the mouth. If you notice, you've got a little bit more saliva in your mouth. And also, it's good for your entire digestive tract, your GI tract, from your lips through your esophagus, stomach, and your large and small intestines down to your colon and your anal sphincter. So it's good. We want to do these practices. Okay, so we've done our head and our neck and our shoulders in this awareness practice, feeling the light energy of the breath. We've done lion pose. So now we'll continue with the shoulder joints. Let our arms just dangle. And again, bring your awareness into your shoulder joints. That means to feel the breath moving that light energy in and amongst the gross tissues, the physical tissues, structures of your shoulders. Visualize them and feel them. And then to gain a little more access to them, actually physically move them in circles. Small circles, if you like. Watching how much effort you require, just you can explore those movements a little more. If this is doable and you want to make the movements even bigger, you can, always staying within your capacity. You may bring your shoulders forward a little more, up more towards your ears, shoulder blades together on the back and down the back. Just letting the arms dangle as relaxed as possible. Eventually reverse the direction of the movement. Watching what's going on with your breath, letting the breath flow. Really staying connected with the movement of the breath and the origin of the breath in the navel center. And eventually bring that to a restful place. The arms are dangling. And breathe naturally and normally. Silently. Bring that light energy of the breath into the tips of the fingers and begin to just move the tips of the fingers in space. Move each finger individually. The fingers and the thumbs, eventually the hands. Feel into the wrists, making some circles. Hands at the wrists. And gradually start to move a little more of the arms. maybe the entire arm to the shoulder. Maybe you bring the arms forward and back in some large arm movements. Maybe it feels good to bring them a little higher, maybe to shoulder height. And for some, maybe at this point you know that you're wanting to reach up all the way to the ceiling. Watch the position of your hands. Do your hands kind of rotate through space so that sometimes the palms are up and sometimes the palms are down, and begin to let your spine fold in so that your shoulder blades come down the back, and then as you come forward, it's as though you were diving, and the hands can alternate their position. One time, the right hand is above the left, another time, the left hand is above the right. And whenever you like, reverse those movements, just to see how that is different. And again, you're feeling the spine with the breath. And in these movements, there's an opportunity to shift your weight a little bit forward and backward on your sit bones, and your feet become kind of active. It reminds me a little bit of the movements that you make when you're swinging on a swing set, and you kind of have to shift your weight forward and backwards. So you're using the total body, the total gross physical body, rather than the subtle, and yet the energy is subtle. And of course, your mind is experiencing this on the most subtle level. So it's the continuum of awareness, which is our prajñā, or wisdom. Okay, and eventually, just bring the arms down to shoulder height in front of you. Let them float in space. Feel the weight of the arms. Lower them whenever you need to. And eventually exhale, hand down to the wrist. And if you stop, that's fine. And then you just, after you've had a little rest, you come back to the movements. Or you explore doing the movements with your arms down. Here we are inhaling and bringing the hands up at the wrists, and exhaling, folding forward at the wrist. You can use the Ujjayi Pranayama, which is where you tone your vocal diaphragm in your throat just a little bit, so that as you're breathing, you have this kind of shush sound that pretty much only you can hear. Now, exhale and explore the rotation of the hands at the wrists. And again, you're exhaling down one side, inhaling up the other. And about this time for me, I'm going to lower my arms. I feel like I've had enough work there. I can definitely feel it in my shoulder muscles, and I don't want to feel sore. So I want to just feel it to the point where I feel like, okay, that was good. That was within my capacity. It would be different than your capacity. So each of us would have a different capacity there. Good. Okay, so we've done our head, our neck, and our face, our shoulders, and our arms. And in this joints and glands series, we work from the top to the toe. And we did Simhasana as well. So I invite you to put your hands on your knees, and we'll work in the torso. So here, we'll do some large swirls with our spine and our torso. So again, becoming aware of the breath, really feeling that movement of the breath, particularly originating in the solar plexus. Now we bring the awareness to our hips and our torso, take a little bit of a rotation towards the right thigh, and now bring the heart out over that right knee. And then swivel it across towards the left knee, and then tuck the heart back in towards your chair and let your head come in. and begin to bring it out over the right knee again. So you're letting this wave-like motion of your spine and your heart combined with your breath. So as you inhale, let the spine lengthen and the heart come out. And as you cross over, you begin to exhale and you take the heart back in. And after you've done that about 3 times in one direction, reverse the movement, bringing the heart out over the left knee, swiveling it over to the right, exhaling, tucking it back in. And again, inhaling, bringing it out, and exhaling, tucking it back in. The face and the head, the eyes are all soft. And we do about 3 times in each direction to eventually come back to our center. And notice if you've got any tensions anywhere, creeping up. Make any kind of shifts in your feet. Just anything, just really explore. Make sure there's no stiffness is there. Okay, so we just did our upper spine, and of course we got into the sit bones a little bit. Now I want to focus really on the pelvic region. So draw up on the pelvic floor, just make a little contraction there, and then release that. And again, bring a little contraction to the pelvic floor, and then release that. One more time. Good. And now, one thing you'll notice is if it's so subtle that no one could tell you were doing that. So if you bring a little contraction to the pelvic floor, but you also contract your buttocks, it actually raises your spine a little bit. You feel, if you clench your buttocks, right? Okay. So release that. So do that again. Bring a little contraction to the pelvic floor first, and then clench the buttocks. And release that. Good. Okay. So that's a good exercise to do, just to tone your hip muscles there. And now imagine you're sitting on the school clock, like about that size, and make some swivels around the hours of the clock. This is to focus on the movement of your sit bones, your pelvic floor, and your lowest abdomen. So go 3 times around the clock in one direction, reverse that movement, and go the other way. And again, this is toning your core muscles and also giving a little stimulation to your digestive system and your reproductive glands. And eventually just bring that to a restful spot. And enjoy a moment of reflection, letting the breath flow smoothly, quietly, through the nose, and feeling the center of the breath awareness in the navel region. And the light energy of the breath, the prana. Now let's bring the prajñā of the Sthūla Śarīra. That's the awareness, the wisdom of awareness to the gross body, and flow that awareness into your right leg. And when you're ready, float it up in space. You feel how it's filled with light energy. Take that light energy to the foot and the ankle, and let the foot and the ankle make some circles in space. Point the toe and circle from the toe to the knee a few times. Reverse that direction. And then some bicycling movements with that leg. And again, always staying within your capacity and resting whenever you need to. You can take the leg out to the side, reversing that movement, pausing whenever you need to, and then directly straight back. And then eventually we extend that leg Almost place the heel down. Or place the heel down. You can keep it suspended in space, or you can put it down. And press on the accelerator. Draw back. Press. Draw back. And now we rotate the sole of the foot a little bit towards that wall. You can feel it through the entire leg, towards this wall. Again, in this direction, both ways. Good. Squeeze the toes like you're making a fist. Really squeeze, keep breathing. Just really squeeze, feel the concentration of energy there. And then spread the toes. And again, squeeze. And spread, good. And now we put the big toe down, keep the heel up, and with awareness of the leg of the chair too. It too is filled with light, the light of your awareness. So it's amazing. The light is everywhere. And just the way that the speed of light is so instantaneous. This is an amazing thing about our bodies. Here we are, so many years from where we started out with this body. And still, the ability to move this limb at the speed of light is miraculous, because you can do it. The speed of light, just, it's amazing. Like, you're as fast as you ever were. Just that thought, you send that thought, there's no age to that thought. There's no time to that. It's like really amazing. So we do this little pumping movement, and it's a complete recognition of that amazing ability of the thought to travel in a timeless fashion. So then we're done with that leg, and we just get a little pat down from the knee towards the hip. Sometimes we do the abhyanga, the self-massage practice. Today we're just doing just a little bit of that, and hopefully eventually we meet often enough that I can go over all of those parts to the practice with you. Sit again for a moment and reflect with your eyes closed, feeling the movement of the breath. And really notice how dramatically different the right leg is feeling than the left leg. We almost don't have words that could adequately describe this feeling that we have in our right leg right now. So we let it stay just as a feeling sensation. And we acknowledge the wisdom in that feeling. And now we'll continue with our left leg. Float that light energy into your left leg and let it just raise it in space and into the foot and the ankle. Make some circles there, both directions. Point the toe, circle from the toe to the knee a few times.